course, this is applicable to all women and every single person that's thinking of traveling, but this is there are some comments that are going to be very specific for Black women. Hey guys, welcome back to the Power Closet, a space for perspectives where conversation meets style. If you're new here, hi, I'm Tumi. I make all sorts of videos from travel, fashion, style, and conversation videos too. But today's video is something a little bit interesting. I know we are deep in the summer holidays and people are thinking of traveling alone, as I did last year. So I thought I would do a tips for solo travelers that is Black women friendly. Of course, this is applicable to all women and every single person that's thinking of traveling, but this is there are some comments that are going to be very specific for Black women, and let's just jump right into it because this is going to be a teeny bit humorous, but I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, let's jump right into it. I have my phone and we're just going to talk through 4 segments: comfort, logistics, safety, and clothing. And we're going to talk through each point. I have my phone here, so let's jump right into it. Comfort. Okay, I think the first thing that I'm going to say that is extremely important is the hotel that you're going to book. You need to check the location, especially if you are a Black woman. Do not pick a dodgy location. So I went to Italy last year, and when I was looking for a hotel, I was adamant that the hotel was in the cities, not necessarily in the city center, but it was in probably the affluent part of Rome. So even though I couldn't pay for the hotel that I really wanted because they literally were asking for a dowry, I picked another hotel that I was close to it and wasn't ridiculously priced. So the hotel I ended up staying at in Rome was in Trevi. Trevi was quite central. Trevi was near where a lot of the 5-star hotels were. So this was 4-star because I refused to pay the cash for 5-star at that point in time. It was ridiculously priced. But it was 4-star that had 5-star vibes. So they had in-room dining, they had concierge, they had the aesthetics match, they had like a rooftop bar. It was clean and neat, but it didn't come with the 5-star price tag. But what I looked for was, where is this place located? I am not staying in any dingy place. If you are a solo traveler and you are a Black woman, pay the extra buck and stay in a place that is safe. So check reviews online and make sure that the area or the location, so in Paris, they'll say the catchment area, or is it arrondissement, whatever it's called, check that it is a place that is safe. Check the area that you're going to stay in. Of course, I know this comes with a premium because it tends to be more expensive, but I'd rather you pay the premium than stay in a place that's dingy and it's not safe. Number 2 would be the hotel itself. So I've spoken about the area that the hotel is going to be in. I am a stickler for 5-star hotels because it just hits the spot, honestly speaking. But the truth about it is that sometimes they are ridiculously priced. So I'd say 5 or 4, especially if you're going to be alone. Please don't go below 4. Please don't, because I don't even know what to say. Honestly speaking, 5 or 4. And not all 4-star hotels require an arm and a leg. Just check that they're very good hotels. Booking.com is my go-to place for checking for booking hotels rather, but I have to break it to you guys. Booking.com is not your golden source. When you look at a hotel on Booking.com, go on Google and type in the same hotel and check the ratings. And I'll tell you a funny story. So my mom was going to visit a family member in another city in England, and she was like, oh, just book me a regular hotel. I booked her a regular hotel on Booking.com. It said it was, I think, around 8.2, and it was a 4-star hotel. So I was like, oh, that's fine. She's only gone for like 2-3 days. My mom got there and turned out that it was a hotel, it was more a hostel, and my mother, my 60+ mother, entered her room and found out that she would have to use a shared bathroom. If you're of African descent, I'm sure you can imagine my mother's face. My mom almost collapsed. She was like, excuse me. So turned out that it wasn't 4-star. It was more along the I don't even know what it was, but it was horrendous. My mom was absolutely terrified. The next morning she checked out and said she's not doing this again, and my big sister had to come and get her. It was a very scary scenario. Obviously my heart was beating because trust African parents, they're like, what on earth did you book? So don't go with Booking.com's rating. That is my golden rule. always check on Google. What are other people saying? And with Google, even check on like Expedia, TripAdvisor, see travelers' photos, because the hotels will always give you the fanciest photos, always tell you that it is super nice, but you can't take their word for it. They're always trying to sell their own market. So go and check other people that have been there and make sure that it actually is as good as it says. Now, number 3 would be make a budget. I know this should probably have come as number 1, but I wanted to explain why you needed a budget. We've spoken about hotels, we've spoken about the area, and we're now going to go into things like safety, logistics, etc. If you don't have a budget before you travel, you're just going to end up very frustrated. And when I travel, I like being comfortable. I want to spend and not feel irritated that I'm dipping into my own personal money or my savings or whatever. So if you budget before you leave where you go, you can be a lot more comfortable. If you're looking for a budget planner to help you with that, I'm going to put it up here. This is the one that I created last year, and I'll put the link in the description box below for you to help yourself. It has literally personal finance, but then at the bottom, when you have like credit cards and stuff, it also gives you like a rough template for things you should account for when you're about to make a trip. Okay, so now in the second section, we're going to speak about logistics. Now, this is a place where your money can go very quickly if you do not know certain things. Number 1 would be when you're booking tours, book directly from the actual tourist attraction. Now in Rome, people want to go to like the Vatican, they want to go to the Sistine Chapel, they want to go to all these beautiful places. I'm going to tell you something that is going to blow your mind. If you book a tour with the Vatican itself, so the Vatican actually has a website where you can go see the Vatican Museum, the Vatican itself, and the Sistine Chapel, but it is a ridiculously cheap price. Now if you go on tours like, is it Viator or something like that? Basically those middlemen tours that say, oh, we'll pick you up at 6 o'clock in the morning, we'll go to XYZ. Those things typically cost around 50 to 60 euros per person. So it's 5 to 6 times the price. And people don't usually know this. So they would go on all these tours and spend a lot of money and basically waste your money and put it down the dustbin. And if you know something about me, is that I hate wasting money. I hate wasting money. I definitely get that from my mother. So book it directly from the places it is that you want to visit. The second one will still be on logistics. I call them tourist traps. So tourist traps are places that lots of tourists go to. So tourist traps include things like, you know, those restaurants that are usually on a promenade, or places where it just feels very touristy. You need to be very wary of things like that. So I'll tell you a funny story. One of my closest friends, when she went to Monaco with her family, there was this man that was on the bus with her, telling her a sad story about how he needed money and blah blah blah. Basically his whole scheme was that he would tell tourists a very sad, emotional story so that they will feel compelled to be able to give him money. Now he saw him do it with her family, and later on in the day he saw the same man telling this same sad story to a different family. So be very mindful of tourist traps, especially when it's peak period, so July, August, etc. And it's also peak time, so you're going 12, 1 p.m, 2 p.m. There are going to be a lot of people that are there, so be wary of them. I would say as much as possible, try not to go peak hours if you can. Try and look for times that are less crowded, so that you stay clear of people that are just a little bit strange. The next thing is have cash on you at all times. For street food, when we were in Japan, we went to this gorgeous street food place, and I wasn't able to pay for any of the food. I looked at all the food, I couldn't buy it. It was a very sad situation because I had no cash on me. So always have cash. I know we live in a world where everything is contactless, it's just by the tapping of your phone, but we still need some cash. Even from like a safety perspective, you shouldn't only have all your money on your contactless. Pull out cash before you get on the plane so that you have at least $100 in cash with you, for safety reasons and also for logistics reasons, because if you needed to get transportation and they only accepted cash, you will be stuck. So be mindful of that. Now the fourth thing would be use local transportation as much as possible. So I'm going to caveat that by saying if it's late in the night, please, especially as a Dudu woman, try not to. I have been burned. If it's Portugal, if it's France, where have I not been burned with transportation costs? I have been burned very badly with this. So I would be doing really well in terms of my budget for my trip, and then it would not be transportation. I know one of my friends, she always says this, Ops, who travels with me all the time, she's always like, why is that every trip there must be something that takes our money? And 9 out of 10 times it's usually transportation. Now we're going to go into the next segment, which is safety. Now the first thing is, do not under any circumstance follow anyone. So I spoke about tourist traps in the previous section, and I'll tell you a story about when I went to the Colosseum. So this was in Rome, and there was this man that kept telling me, oh, I should follow him and follow him to his office, that they will give me a good discount in the Colosseum, and it would almost be a semi-private tour, something strange of that sort. You know, I kept saying, oh, I should follow him. You know, there's something my mom used to say when I was growing up in Nigeria. She would say, bomo. I see people that carry children. Do not follow anybody under any, don't follow anybody, especially if you're a woman. This one is not a black man thing. Don't follow anybody. If they tell you, say you don't want. Do not follow anyone under any circumstance. I cannot stress this enough. I know people will be like, oh yeah, I just follow. Don't follow him. Don't follow him. It literally took the Holy Spirit for me to remember that I should have followed this man, because at some point I actually started walking to the train station with him, and then Abba was not like, are you joking? My friend, will you not follow this? Do you know this man from anywhere? So it can happen to anyone. I'm just saying this to reiterate the point that please do not follow anyone. The next thing would be headphones. I love listening to music, but you need to be smart about this. Don't listen to really loud music when you're walking around. It should be low, and you should always have it to a volume such that you can hear the things that are going on around you. Do not be jamming out to your favorite band or your favorite artist, and then you're not mindful of what is going on around you. That is not safe at all. So be very, very careful with things like that. Now this one is very, very important. If I'm traveling, I always share my location with at least 2 people who are not in the same country as me. So if I'm going alone, my location will usually be shared with my sister for sure, and 2 of my other friends. So at every given time, 3 people have my location as in real time. So that's just Find My Friends. So they always know where you are. If possible, also share, not if possible, definitely share your room number with people like your loved ones, your family members, so that they know where you're staying and they know the room number that you're in. That would just make you feel a lot more comfortable. I know another tip that people typically speak about with hotels is add another guest name on the reservation, so they feel like you're not the only person in your room. I've never done that before, but that's probably one to be mindful of. And then following up on that point, I also say a good tip is sharing your daily itinerary with a friend or a family member so that they know where you will be. So if you say, I'm going to do Colosseum, I'm going to go to the Sistine Chapel, they know where you're going to be. Not that you just don't tell anybody and you wander off into the moonlight sun. Definitely inform people so that their heart is at rest, and they have some sort of peace about where you're going to be on a daily basis. Now the final section is going to be clothing. I mean, how can I do this kind of video and I don't speak about clothing? The first 2 things I'm going to talk about is a really good bag and a hat. So now I'm actually a visor girl. I love visors. So a good bag is one that is a crossbody that can fit all your essentials, like your passport, your coin pouch, your travel cards, and what's this thing called? Your wallet. And of course your phone. It needs to be something that something that's quite compact but takes everything. And I can only recommend the Hermes Evelyn. I think when I bought it, it was sub 1,005. I don't know how much it is now, but that is an extremely good bag that is so good for travel. It's lightweight because it's in Clemence leather, and the colors are quite fun, so it goes with a lot of outfits. Mine is in, I think it's called Bleu Nuit, which is very, very versatile. But I will put a picture here, and I would 100% recommend that kind of bag. Now for hats, I would go with a visor because I think it can be quite stylish. I recommend a visor over a hat because of the versatility of it. I tend to do braids, which means the thing needs to be able to sit on my head. Sometimes with a hat, when you do braids, it doesn't quite do that. Whereas with a visor, it doesn't need to go all around your head. It can just go it can stop midway. It can stop midway point. So I have some links with some visors that I think are so stylish. Some are more expensive than others, but I will put them in the description box below. Another thing would be, if you're going to the beach, get a bag that is beach friendly. We do not want to be getting things that will be damaged with water, so definitely get something like that that can fit all your essentials, especially since you're going to be going alone. So you're gonna be saying, oh please, can you help me hold, please get your things in order. Have things that can fit all your belongings nicely. Do not forget your SPF 50, especially if you're doo-doo like me. You do not want to end up burned. Get a really good SPF. I use something called Rejuva, which is my own local esthetician, but probably good to use something like La Roche-Posay or Summer Fridays or something of that sort. That is very, very good for skin. And final thing is comfortable shoes. This is so important. I remember when I was walking around Italy, you need shoes that are comfortable. I would recommend something that doesn't rub with your skin. So I really like the Gucci slides. I'll put pictures here. They're really, really nice and they're very comfortable and very sturdy. My only issue with them is that after you walk around them in the sun for like 4 hours, 5 hours, it can actually start to be very uncomfortable. I love the Hermes Chypres for holidays. It's so good, so good. Like the shoes are so good. So those are definitely my that would be my recommendation if you can get your hands on like the Chypre or anything that is of that nature. So check like a Mango, a Massimo, or something that is comfortable and you can walk around in it for a very, very long time. But anyway, that's it guys. I hope this video has been very informative. If you have any questions, please put them down below. Have you ever gone on a solo holiday? If yes, where did you go to? Do you have any horror stories? I hope not. Please, I hope not. But if you do, definitely share below so that we can all learn from our experience. I really, really love solo travel. I feel like everybody should do it at some point. It is the most beautiful thing ever. It's so relaxing. I get to be in my own world. I'm not on someone else's schedule. I can do whatever I want. I can spend however I want in like whatever store. I can just do my own thing. I really, really like it. And also as someone who really, really loves talking to God, it's perfect because I can talk to him over lunch, while I'm walking. I can do it all the time and I don't care. I don't care for anyone, really. So definitely try it. If you do try it out and you found any of these tips useful, let me know. But I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.